one of the hardest costs, and this is like what entrepreneurship feels like if I can give it to anyone who's new to this, is the feeling of uncertainty that you don't know if all of the work that you've been spending all of your nights and weekends and off time investing in will ever pay off. And so it's this fear that you're wasting your time. But the reality is that the outcome isn't the thing that you're building. The person you are is the person that you're building, and that continues to work. And so there's a proverb in the Bible, I'm going to butcher it, but I think it's in all labor there is profit. And you can rephrase that as, as the work works on you more than you work on it.
Say it again.
The work works on you more than you work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about who we become while doing the work more than the outcome from the work itself. Because like I lost everything 5 years into my entrepreneurial journey, but I still had all the skills and beliefs that I had from before that. And then I was able to reapply those and then have a really, big outcome in what we have today. And so I remember when I lost everything that first time, I thought, did I just lose 5 years of my life? Like I just moved back. I'm at ground zero again. But I wasn't, because I had all these skills that I had learned, owning and scaling 6 gyms at that point. And so point 1, uninformed optimism. Point 2, informed pessimism. Point 3, value of despair. And then go to point 4, which is informed optimism. So now you do have a lay of the land. You understand that there's some skeletons. You do have to understand how you manage some inventory. You got to get ahead of some of the stuff, but you learn how to forecast. You can know that weekends you tend to do better and weekdays you tend to do less. And so you can dial back support on those days and dial it up on the other days. You start to recognize patterns. And so you start to know what you're doing, right? You're paying down all the ignorance debt. And then finally, step 5 is you achieve whatever the original goal was. But the problem is that most people go step 1, 2, 3, and then they jump back to step 1.
With something new.
Right. And so they go to yet again, the grass is greener on the other side, but what they don't know is that it's still fertilized with manure. There's still on the other side too. And so there's always everywhere.
Let me get into real estate now. Let me get into this.
Right. I'm going to do wholesaling and day trading. Yeah. Right. Of course, there's all these, quick make money things. But if you look at the people who are making the most money in it, they spent usually a significant amount of time. And I'm saying this again, but I'm bearing it for repetition, is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 2 minutes in movies and might last 5 years for most people, or 10. And I remember my neighbor, I met him when he was 15 years old. He now works for us at acquisition.com. But he, this is a cool story. So he's 15 years old and he's like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And so he worked out with me every day for a couple of years, at my home gym. And so
is he jacked now?
Never more jacked than me. And so he then goes to college. And after his first semester, he's like, I don't know, like this is, I'm studying business. And I was like, dude, are you willing in this or not? Are you really doing this? And he was like, well, I'm not, school's not really blah, blah, blah. And I said, the world doesn't need another 3-1 business degree. Either crush school or don't go, if your goal is entrepreneurship. He's like, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. And so I apparently told him this, that he remembers because he brings it up all the time. But I said, you are afraid of going all in on entrepreneurship because staying in college is safe from an approval perspective. So you're doing all these side things, but you don't have to bear the brunt of not failing because you're still in school.
Yeah.
It's like, so you need to get
You're not
rid of
all
that.
in. You're not
exactly.
all in. Yeah.
And so he quit school and then he started on the call floor of Gym Launch. Now,
Well, that's not glorious.
and to be fair to the point we were making earlier, I said, I can't get you the job. I won't give you a job. I said, I can get you an interview. I was like, it's going to be up to the sales manager and I'm not going to tell him that I know you. He was like, okay. I was like, you better be prepared. And so he did get the job. To be fair, the qualifications for frontline caller is not super high.